Well, hello. This is Rob at robsjukeboxrestorations.com. I've decided to do a complete restoration on camera. Rather than showing you little bits, it's the way I do it. I'm not necessarily saying it's the right way to do it, it's my way of doing things. And we're gonna do this one. It's a little Rockola 430. It's pretty rough. It's seen a long life, very dirty inside. Let's move the camera, you'll see it. That's a bit of a dirty old machine, that. And so we're going to do everything. We're going to do the cabinet, the legs, the interior. Now you'll notice, if you look carefully, that I'm the cameraman as well. You'll notice that I've taken the amplifier and the power supply out. That's the first job. Take the amplifier out, the power supply, two screws, that comes out, cut the cable, because they're all going to get replaced, and they go away. So that's the first job. The second job is to take all the metalwork off. So we're going to take this door off, take it to bits. That's going to the chrome platers. These will all get polished. I don't chrome those, some people do, and the reason I don't is because it flakes off, because this is aluminium. If it was die cast, then I would chrome it, like some of the other machines, but it does flake off eventually and it will peel. So I've just peeled the piece off there, look. That's the trouble with chroming aluminium. So, first job is take this door off, strip it all down, and we've got to take this cable out from the back here, take the back door off, 4 screws there, take the back door off, loosen that cable off from down here, that way that will come off complete. Then we can strip that down on the bench. We'll go from there. So we need to just loosen these pins out carefully without damaging the metal. Then we take these 2 side chromes, the pin safe, and that's one off for the chrome platers. Put that on one side, same at the other side. Two. Now we need the back door undone. One back door off. It's a bit rippled, you can see down there, so I'll straighten that, get all those dents out of it before we paint it in silver hammerite. Okay, so now we need to get these cable strips off. That's free. Right. Cable clips off. Don't think I can get that in there. Do it without the extension. can hear the wind blowing. It's the lovely Yorkshire weather for the storm wind blowing. Undo the Jones plug, which goes up to the, so that's now free from that. That cable is going to go, that big cable with that Jones plug on it, and that little one at the back of the selector block or the credit unit. These can be a nightmare to get out, but that one's come out alright. So, they're free, that's free, that's free, free to come out now. So now we need the clip there to come undone. I've got one more clip up here to undo. They just push together these, although they can be a nightmare to undo. They've been on there for so long. A lot of nicotine on this machine. That one doesn't want to come undone, so I'm going to unscrew it instead, I think. Unless I can push it this way. That's it. Right, completely clear now. So now if we take this out of here, lift it all the way up, feed it all the way up. Easier from the back, I think. Yeah. Okay, so now that's clear. It will be in a second. Lovely. That's clear to take off. Out of the way. So now we need 4 screws on the top to take off. 2 bolts, one's difficult to get to up there, bolt up there, and then we need to take the stay off and then lift that entire door off. I need to close that down because I can't get the screwdriver in. Let it go in now. Yeah. Now the coin chute's in the way of me getting to the bolt, so just that top section, so that's coming off. And another lovely little screw in there that is a nightmare to get to. Oh, yeah, right. Cable has to be out the way to get to it. Right. Now we should be able to get a screwdriver in there. With a bit of luck. Cracking. Now I can get to the bolt, which is there. I'm not going to check it right out because if it suddenly falls, the bolt will catch it. I'm sort of loosen them off because we need to take off this. That will now lift off. Cool. You don't have to set the pin out if you don't want to. You can take the two screws out from the bracket. That's another way of getting it off, but that'll just drop straight off now when I loosen these off. So I'm going to take the weight of this. I'll move the camera back so you can see what's going on. Okay, let's have that one out. Nuts drop down there, but no doubt I'll find it because it's all coming out. Oh, there's the nut, it was in the end of the socket. It's now stuck to the speaker magnet. Right, this is the last one coming off. Pull that off. Shove it down out of the way. This should now lift off complete when I release the hinges up there with my fingers. So, bolts are a bit tight still in the wood, that's one out. And the other one coming out any second. I'm not really bothered about marking the wood at this point because it's all going to be recovered and all the scratches gone. Where people have been writing the names in it all over the years. This is What He Loves Sue. Oh no, it says What He Loves Wally. Right. That one doesn't want to come out. So, a little bit more help. That one. Give it a proper tool. Right, that's one out. Other one out. You notice I'm still holding it because there's nothing holding it on now. That's going to come away like so. So we can put this on the bench in a minute and strip it. I've already unbolted the control box, 2 screws that holds that on up there. That's the reverse box. We'll talk about that when we get to stripping it. That can come out. So we might as well take these plugs out down here. All these plugs. Unplug that unit and take that unit out. Because basically we're going to take the front door off. Take all the mechanism out, coin mech out, just so it's just the bare cabinet. Then we can take the cabinet, which will be light, off the legs, send them away for chroming, and I want to drill them out, and I'm going to put wheels on them because they're a nightmare to move about. I mean, dragging it around like that all the time. Put wheels on it, which is what we normally do. So we can unplug the speakers. That's them unplugged. Get those screws off there. And whilst we're here, we may as well take that door off as well. I've done it before, so when you put plastic plugs and things like this on the floor, best not to wrap them up, because you stand on them and crush them, and then you've got to repair them and find replacements. So yeah, don't. So what we want is, we need that off. We can take that stay rod. I can go to the polishers. So we've got same as the top, we've got a couple of nuts. So that nut is a little bit lower down because of the cash box to slide in and out. So let's take that nut out. Biddy biddy biddy. Diddy diddy dee. Diddy diddy dee. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Try not to block the camera. So the nuts are off now, but we've still got 2 screws and 2 screws holding that bottom door on, and that's all that's holding it on. Cables are all gone. So change the bit and take those screws out. We'll take this one out first, because that's what's holding it up. That's just going to hang now. So I'm going to take one out from this side and one out from that side. I'm just going to loosen that one, make sure it's not tight. So that's ready to come out. I'm going to support it with my knee. Take this one out. Finish that one off. And there we go. That's now off. And that can be stripped, painted, all this metal coming off. We're going to strip that one. Strip all this stuff anyway. Take the nuts that are stuck to the speaker off there. Okay. So I've taken these plugs out. 3 white ones and a red one. You can't get them wrong, they only go on one way. Taking these 2 fastening screws out. That will now slide forward and slide out. That's the credit unit. We'll talk about that when we get to it. There's always some money in the bottom of these, and look what we found here. Oh, 10p, which you can't spend because it's pre-decimal. But there you go. This one has been used in this country, so I don't have to put a drop-down transformer on. Any that come from America, I'm going to drop the transformer. And also we have the problem that the frequency is wrong, because 60 cycles in America and 50 cycles over here. So we'll worry about that on another machine, but not this particular one. And there's 5p, which is modern 5p, which I can spend. So everything's a bonus. So that's clear, they're all off now. So what else have we got to unplug off the mech? So when the mech comes out, to take this mech out, we've got these 4 things, they've got a clip on the inside, these there, you've got to take those off. There's a bolt and a spring missing at the back, believe it or not. I'm sure I've seen a spring on the floor, yes I have. So that one's off the back, the 4 springs. And when you take the 4 bolts out, then you need to support it and take this bracket off, because it won't come out. This won't come past there. This lot will, but that side won't. So that bracket's got to come off, which means taking that bolt out, that nut out, those 2 screws, take that bracket away. Last job before we lift that mech out. So let's take that bolt out first, because that's the hard job. When you want to tap these out, don't try and tap the bolt, either use a rubber mallet or bring the nut out halfway so it's past the end of the thread, so when you're tapping it, you're tapping the nut and not the thread. Bearing in mind it's been in there a long time, it's been in there 50-60 years. So now I can take the nut off. Pull that pin out. Now it's just got 2 screws holding that bracket on, which is easy to get off. So we need to undo all these clips, twist them and drag them. Do that one. This one's a bit more difficult because the carousel's in the way. It's harder to put back on, I have to say. Right, have we got any at the back? Yes, we have. Let's get those off. You can still see me on the camera, I think. So let's get these 2 out as well. That one. That one's already out because it's missing. So we'll take the bolts out. These are what you would tighten down when you're shipping it. Stops the mech from falling off. I'm just going to lift it slightly to get this spring out. Right, that spring's out. Take this bolt out, which is a bit tight. Not a bit tight, a lot tight. Are you bored yet? You can always speed it on. So whilst I'm unscrewing these, I'll give you something to think about. Think of a number between 1 and 10. It works with any number, but 1 and 10 is a lot easier to work with for you. And if we don't end up with the same answer, it's you that's got it wrong, not me. So you think of your number between 1 and 10 and don't forget it, because you're going to come back to it. So you've got that number in your head, that's great. Okay, now I want you to double it. Give you a chance to double it while I do this bolt. Right, you've doubled it, great, make sure you're right, that's good. Now add 8 to your answer. That's cool. Add 8, lovely. Now you've got your number. Now halve it, divide by 2 basically. Good. Now take away the number you first thought of. You should be left with a single digit number, hopefully. Right, that single digit number, convert it to the alphabet. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, etc. and onwards. So you now have a letter instead. And now think of a country, not a town or a village, a country beginning with that letter. Okay, give you a bit of time for that while I set this spring out. So you've got a country, hopefully. Okay, take the second letter of that country and think of a 4-legged animal beginning with the second letter of that country. Great. And now think of the colour of that animal. Brilliant. And I think we're just about ready to lift that out now. By the way, you're all wrong, because there are no grey elephants in Denmark. How does he do it? They all say. Oh, isn't life wonderful? What's this piece of wire doing up here? I have no idea what that's for. Somebody's clipped it onto something. So it's a repair of some sort. So what I'll do is, so I remember where it goes. I think that's some sort of repair. So what I'll do is I'll cut it where the join is, and I can see where it was supposed to go. And I'll leave 2 bits of wire there. So that's one wire, and that's another wire. So we know where that goes now. Or not, as the case may be. So that's virtually ready to lift out now, I think. Yeah, it is. So we need to take this bracket off, like I said before, and then struggle to get it out. I think I've got all the cables now. Where's the cable for the turntable? Ah, I haven't unplugged that one. That's the cable down there, is the turntable. So that's now unplugged. There's speaker wires, they're nothing to do with anything. That cable goes to the selector motor, so I can pull that out. All these cables are all going to go in the sonic cleaner, and they'll all come back like new. Not back out of the sonic cleaner. So just put it on there out of the way. So that's free, that's free. It's all clear to go. Nothing holding on. Where is the input? Ah, there it is, at the back. That would go up the back to the turntable, from the turntable up to the amplifier. That's the input. So we're just going to put that on there for the time being. So with a bit of luck, I'll move the camera back. Should be able to lift that out now. That's it. Take that bracket off. I know I need it somewhere. Take the bracket off, yeah. It was me that said it. Take the bracket off. Not easy to get to this because that's in the way and I can't get to it. So I'm going to use one of those. They're not dear and they're really good, and it works round corners. So hopefully that will get that screw out of there. like that. There we go. So that's starting to fall now. Good. Crack it out of the way. That should come forward now. Have a bit of look. Up over there. What's stopping it there? Nothing. I might take that one out as well, I think. I don't know what it's catching on. I can't see it catching on anything. Yeah, I normally tip them with two of us, and I can't tip that one-handed, I don't think. Yes, I can. Right, so that can go on the floor like that. And I take a tad more weight out of it by taking the coin neck out. Much easier to move about when it weighs nothing. It's been in here a long time, it doesn't really want at it. So that's out. Good. That can go off. We can take that off now. The reject lever. So we can actually take it off its stand now. So with a bit of luck, I should be able to lift it off the stand. That's it. Right, so apart from the mech being stripped, we've now got a stand. So next job is strip the stand, take the bolts out, take it to pieces, take those legs out, cut the back ones off because they've just got solid ones on. I'm going to cut those, I'm going to drill them, put a 10mm thread in it, and then we'll take that box there, that's right behind it, of screw-in casters, the brake on the front. So that's the job for tomorrow. Then we'll start stripping that down, taking all the Formica off the sides, and getting the rubbish out of it, cleaning health out of it. Then when we've done the cabinet, then it's going to be on to, oh no, tomorrow we're going to be taking all the chrome off and take it down to the platers to get them to polish it. I can polish it, but it's much easier to take it to them. And then we'll take all that to pieces. And then if you don't understand, I can polish stuff, and you can polish your own stuff. If you notice there, I've got a motor, which is an old washing machine motor. It's about 60 years old, that. And it's brilliant. Just stick it in the vise and put all them different things in there. Great fun. Love it. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea and we're back tomorrow. Okay, so I unbolted the frame, so it's now in 4 pieces. I've taken one of the feet off, unbolted that, and I've retapped it to 10mm for the new wheels. That is just a solid lump in there, so that needs cutting off, and then we need to drill it and tap it and start cutting it. Okay, so that's cut off, and that's a solid lump in there. So we need to drill that out now. And then we can put a tap in and make that into a hole. Bit boring, watch that, isn't it? What have you been doing today, love? I've been watching a bloke drill a hole. Right. So with a bit of luck, obviously I'm doing this before it's chromed, because I don't want to be putting it in the vise and drilling and stuff, so that'll go in there fine with a lock tab on it, and we can adjust it. And I'll do the same with the other leg, which you don't need to watch because it's exactly the same as that one. Okay, front panel with the speaker panel. Let's take all these out. I'll put it on the floor so that you can see easier. Now these clips that hold the door closed, set those down and have those zinc plated with the other stuff. Zinc plating. Right, just some nuts to take off now, and then it will all come apart. Top nuts there, so Let's change the bit. Get that size. Close enough for jazz. Didn't want that one off for some reason. I don't think it's exactly the right size, to be fair. No, it's not. Let's get one that fits a bit better, methinks. Oh. Now that will work. No, it won't. Got a bit of rust on it. So that should slide out now. "60-year-old dust, that." So you can see all that chrome is starting to lift on there. So I'm not having those chromed, I'm have those polished. Then you've got to, when it's polished, you've got to be painted back in there. Might not do them black, I might do a different colour. Don't particularly like the colour scheme of it. The chrome's definitely come off that one. There's a lot of captivated bolts that slide into this track. So when you take it out, don't lose them, because they slide in. All little scratches all over it, because that's anodised. So what they do is they take the anodising off and polish them. You can have them re-anodised if you want, but they're not going into a cafe or a pub for another 40 years, so they'll be fine. Nicotine on there, all that yellow. Great. So that's the speaker board, and we'll 4 screws there in the centre, which I took off and sent to the platers for the little star. Take those screws out. We'll take the speakers out later on and check those out. For the time being, we need to get all this chrome away for polishing, so that when we've done all these other jobs, that will be back. So we're finished with that for the time being. This is the biggie. First thing is to get that out. That's the button bank. Oh, and I do want to send those hinges, the top hinges. The bottom ones you don't see, they're underneath. on. Right, 2 of those, they won't chrome in. That can actually stay on there because it's not getting chromed. So, take all these nicotine covered things off. I mean, you can set this off in the machine, but it's very difficult because you're up in the air and bits falling down into the mech and all that. It's by far the easiest way of getting it off. That should lift out now. There we go. Button bank. So we'll strip that when we've got all these bits of glass out. Come away in kind of 3 pieces, and then that plate can go to the chrome platers. That's the bit I do chrome. Then that bit there wants painting in to match the rest of the machine. So we'll put that to the side. So title card's out. So if you take one end off, like I'm doing now, I need to take the lock catch off. Zinc plating. Zinc plating. Zinc plating. Whew. Right. This end will now come off. That's one. For polishing, the glass will now slide out, or should. In fact, I'm going to take that top one off first. Take that one off. Polishing. That's just stuck in there with years of filth. Which is why I do it on the ground. That way I don't break the glass. So that's the front glass. Put that somewhere safe. loose enough. I'll take that one out. Polishing. Glass. Some muck in there. Polishing. Now I need to take that lock out of there and take that badge off. These are self-threading nuts on the back of these. Like self-tapping nuts. Which is far better than those spire clips, which are a nightmare to get off without smashing them. So, don't know what we're going to do with that. We're going to do something with it, inlay it with some chrome tape or something. We'll make it look a bit better than that, because that doesn't look so clever. Stick it in there, out of the way. Just need the lock out of there now. I think that's loose. Yeah. No. God, how long is this knot? Forever. I suppose if I was a professional I could use a socket on this one and an air tool, which I've got, but I can't be bothered getting them out of the drawer. I'll have it off by the time I've got them out, he says. At last, right, ready for polishing. So this is all well scratched all over the place, so I'm going to get the polishers, just put a rough finish down there so it gives it a similar look to the original, those lines, if possible. Together. Right, let's take this to bits, ready for the platers. Lots of screws on there. I tend to keep those screws because there's so many different ones, separate from all the others. It's just easier when you're putting it back together, knowing that all the screws for this piece are in one place, rather than figuring out which one they are in there. So, lots of little clips in the middle one. Take those out first. Comes apart a lot easier than it does putting it back together, trust me. So those are the plates that hold the glasses in, or one of them. The glass with the card, I'll remake those. On the old computer. You can buy these though, but the trouble is they don't usually correspond to the coinage that you're putting on it, or if you're putting it on free play. Some people like to put coins in them. I did at first, then it becomes a nightmare. Taking the coins out, putting the coins in, getting the coins stuck. It's just easy just to press the free play button. Is that going to come out without breaking? Eventually it's stuck in. You notice on this one it's got two burnt buttons there. I've actually bought some, so I've got two for that. They're all melted for some reason or other, I don't know how, but those two buttons are knacked. So now we'll take the mech apart. 3 screws, 3 screws, 3 screws, 3 screws either side, and one at the end, either end. That's 1, 2, that's that bank free. Bottom ones have got a plate across. That's to stop the reject button going in too far. It's a stop, as well as holding the plastics in that give the buttons their colour. Although they're that dirty, they won't be giving it much colour at the moment. This last one has an earth tag on it. Pull the bulb holder out. Cable clamp off. In good nick that. That's one of those that lights up select, but when it's not lit it's blank. You can't see anything. They're good. But you can buy them. Right, so we've got one down there, holding the coil in. And one at the other side. Either side, which are difficult to get to be fair. Reject button. is usually broken, but you can't see the letter reset, they've been polished out, so I just do them in a printing thing and stick them on instead of reset. Clean. So they're loose. Now if I release that, I'm going to try and get those out of there without taking the coil apart. If the nuts are too tight, they won't come out. Because you can't get the screwdriver down, not straight onto, only at an angle, which isn't great. If they're not too tight, they'll come undone. No, they're not coming off. No, they're not coming off. So, you need to take those two levers out so I can get down to the screw, which is at the bottom. So you've got clips on either end there. So I'm going to take those little clips out. These are those nightmare clips you've got to prise out, horrible things. Don't know why Rock-Ola use them. Why can't they just use circlips like everybody else does? Well, these are cheaper. Don't know. And you always slip off and put the screwdriver through your finger, generally. And you end up with blind cobbler's thumb. So those are the levers that I've got to come off, covered in nicotine. Put them in there with the others. So we can get that one of the screws out. Now that one to take off. Something pointy on it. And that's just flown away somewhere. Don't know where that's gone. So having a circlip on when it goes back on that, because I'm not going to search for that horrible thing. Now the spring's in the way. Oh! Take the spring off. It should come over it. Anyway, I can get a screwdriver down the back now. See what I mean about fun putting it back together? Right. Buttons will fall off, so it'll all come off now. Should do. Have I missed a screw? Yes, I've missed 3. Chrome platers. These are in particularly good nick. A lot of times you've got to repair all these with plastic cement, which melts the plastic and repairs them. I'm only taking off the ones that are going to come off easy. The rest won't fall off. No, they're not falling off. So the ones that come off easy, put somewhere safe. All the bits together. Let's put them in a box. Hey, we might as well take them off whilst we're here. We can get them off. Ah, see, that one's broken, that's a broken one. So I'm going to build that up with plastic when we get around to it. And those are in reasonably good nick as well, to be fair. So that's the selector block, what's left of it, and I shall just drop the whole thing, including the cable and the plugs, into a sonic cleaner. When we get around to doing that, you can do it just spraying it and brushing it and messing about. A sonic cleaner is so much easier and does a great job. So they're going in there. Keep those somewhere safe. And let's move on to the next stage. I've taken the cash cup, the return cup off. They're normally painted brown. I hate it, it looks horrible. It's not going to be brown anyway, I don't like that. So you can paint it brown or any colour, but if you take the paint off, I'm going to show you, I won't do it all, but I'll just show you a bit. Just get the paint off, like so. It's a rough wheel. That's just a bit I've taken off. So what I'm going to do now is put a hard wheel on it to get the small scratches out, but that's just put in. This is a hard wheel. With a bit of white, because that's for deep scratches. This is aluminium casting, yeah. Now that looks like chrome, and with a spray of lacquer it will stay like that, and I'll get it perfectly flat, so that'll look a lot nicer in the side of the machine. And what I'll do is I'll do the same with the return knob, which is also a casting, so that will polish up, no paint on that. So that comes up lovely. I've taken the centre out of that badge, cleaned the chrome up on a wheel, taken the inlay out, and what I've done is cleaned it on a machine and sprayed it white. Now I'm going to put silver on that piece, and I'll glue that back in into that. That's the front badge. That'll look nice. So now the machine's on its side, I've taken the two bottom ones off. It's easy to get to them, and the two bottom hinges for the front door, all the screws, so that's all going to go to the polishers to be zinc plated with all the other stuff. So now we need to get this Formica off, which is all badly scratched. And that comes off great with one of those. A bit like paint, but once you get it started, it's fine. So you can only go so far with that because obviously I can't get into the middle. So I've got a secret weapon which I'll get out. And this is the secret weapon. It's a metal ruler, but I've filed the edges so it's now a scraper. So that will go right across there. Quite therapeutic doing this, to be honest. I quite enjoy it. Bit like jet washing. I'm sure you don't want to watch me do all these both sides, but I'll film some of it and you can wind it on if you want. Or you can go and have your tea, which I'm going to do in a minute. So that's the Formica coming off, and if you're good, you can get it all off in one sheet. It's like trying to peel an orange. See if I can peel an orange in one piece. It's a bit of a challenge. Most of it's going to come off in one piece. And if you get it off in one piece, you can then you can then use it for a pattern, which I've already done this one from another machine I did. You'll see the pattern drawn on there. So that will be the pattern for that piece of new Formica. Or you can make a paper pattern. Nearly there on this side. Some people would just stick another piece right over the top of this, but then it makes it too thick and the trim doesn't fit, and yeah, not good. Plus it doesn't stick very well either. Nearly off in one piece, a few little bits. Not that I need the one piece, because I'm going to throw it in the bin. All the trash, if you're American. Actually, I like the American language better than ours, to be fair. I mean, calling something a pavement is ridiculous, isn't it? I'm going for a walk. The side of the road. Yeah? You're walking on the sidewalk. No, I'm walking on the pavement. Where does pavement come from? It's ridiculous. American is much better. And then we've got the boot of a car. And the bonnet of a car. A boot is something you wear on your feet. Trunk, yeah, that's what you put stuff in. Like if you go on holiday, you pack it in a trunk. Oh, I'm going to go on holiday. Where are you going to pack your clothes in? I'm going to pack it in a boot. Don't make sense, does it? It's stupid. Sidewalk is much better. Trunk. And then of course, the side of a car, one piece, look at that. Yay! Nearly one piece. On the side of a car in England we've got, what have we got? Wings. And stay there. Yeah, we've got wings. Oh, does it fly? No. That's a bit of a penguin then. Yeah, the only thing that doesn't fly, it's got wings. What does it do? Well, it fends off other things. Well, why do you call it a fender? Oh no, that's silly. Is it? Really? We'll call it wings. So, America's got some bits right. Not everything, but there you go. You can't actually, this isn't smell-o-vision, but this stuff stinks when it's hot. It's some sort of resin, that's what it's made out of, this Formica stuff. I think it is resin and paper if I'm not mistaken. How to make Formica. Or this laminate, if you want to call it that. It's definitely resin. That's why it's so brittle when you're cutting it, when it's not hot. I found the easiest way to cut Formica or this stuff is with a sharp blade over and over again till it just falls in half. You go around corners. I've got a cutter that really old guy gave me. Said really old. Gosh, I'm 80, so how old was he? Older than me, let's put it that way. And it's a, I don't know if you can even buy the tool, I'll show it to you. But it is a tool for nibbling away at this stuff. Right, we've got one side done. I will show you that nibbling tool. It's an interesting piece of kit. So we can turn that over now and then do the other side. Great. Need to take these rubbers off. They must have spent all day gouging the name into that. Shep loves Jane, does he? Right. Okay. I'm sure you don't want to watch all this, but I'll record a bit. I will show you that tool though. That's the tool. I've never seen one like it. But it's an amazing thing. What's this? Good, isn't it? Don't know what it's called. But if you try to use scissors, it just splits. Or cutters, it just splits. Right, we'll have to crack on with this side. I'm going to stop the camera for a second. And now the fun part. Impact adhesive. Get one go at this. It fits straight away or it doesn't fit at all. Great fun. Very warm in here, so you don't have to wait very long. A couple of minutes max. So I've got an edge that I know is right, so once I get that edge right, that's so it doesn't just stick itself down anywhere it wants that. Get this edge right, that edge right. Now there's a slot there for that chrome to go in, so it's going to be right on the slot. And there's the slot there, which I will do with the Necanifa. There's the slot there. Nearly right. Da, da, da. Da, 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 yeah. No, that doesn't work. Try Tennant saw. No, we'll use this one instead just to clean that out. That's one of the ones from the bottom, so that would go in there like that. Perfect. Cool. Now we need to do the same with the other end. Just going to mark where the slot is. side, it's there. Lovely. Well, that looks a bit better than it did, doesn't it? There's a couple of holes to drill through there for the bolts for the brackets, but we can drill them from the inside and we know exactly where they are. Right, other side. Okay, that's the other side done. Made the cutouts, put the holes in for the bolts, so we've got two sides done now. I'll give them the outside a wipe down, get the nicotine off, ready for paint. Polish that up and put some lacquer on it so that looks great. Put it in the right way. That will go in there. That will be going in there. So that's what the side will look like. Well, not that there, obviously. And we've got the little slots there for the metal bits to go in when they come back from the polishers, from the platers I mean. So the next job is to take that panel off. That needs all rubbing down. We'll rub it down whilst it's on with a wire brush, get all the rust off it, then take the bolts out, all the bolts, take all these nuts out, clean all that up, get all that painted, and we'll do this in Hammerite, straighten all these grills out so that it's all looks pretty. So that's the next job, okay? So you can hear the boiler in the background, so that's off, rust off it. The back needs cleaning out. You've got a grill which is fastened there, that just wants brushing, and on the inside of that is a grill going the opposite way, so that's how the air comes through. That wants cleaning as well. So there's a lot of bolts which are like coach bolts through here, holding the engine, the mounts on. So when that's painted and cleaned, you can either buy new bolts, but there's no point because they're quite expensive and they're all a bit rusty and horrible. But I'm going to show you what you can do just on the polisher. That's what they come up like. Bit of lacquer on those, good as new. Why buy new bolts? So I'm going to do 16 of those, but I've just done one to show you. Okay. Okay, so I've mixed some 2-pack filler. Goes off in a few minutes. Only really nice and hard. Let's just fill those holes in. Then we take the rest of those bolts out. That's why I countersunk them, because if I countersunk them when you do that, it would just drag it out. So any holes on there, just fill those in whilst we're at it, those scrapes. Where it's been dragged around the floor some point in its life. If these things could tell a story. Oh, things they've seen and done. Right, I think we're good there. I can't see any more great lumps out of it anywhere. No, that's all good. Yeah, none on that, none on there. Right, that's the top cover. That's been given a nice coat of hammered paint. Straightened the main dents out of the back panel. It's still slightly dented, but it's on the back anyway. That's done in hammered paint as well. So now I want to clean the inside out. So if you are doing one and you haven't done one before, when you take everything off, you probably won't remember where it all goes. So I advise you to take lots and lots of photographs. That way you'll know where it all goes back together. So I'm going to take, can you see that? Yeah, I think so. Take all those out. This is the thing that holds the coin mech in. They're usually quite tight, these, so they have a spacer in between them as well. They're on rubbers so that people can't bang them and make the switch. Those are the switches, those are the coin switches there. That should come off now. A bit of luck. Right, it's all for the sonic cleaner, that, when we get around to doing the cleaning. I'm trying to do it at an angle, so that's why I can't get this, so you can see what I'm doing. Right, I can clean all that stuff out of there now, and that's an empty box, apart from that one clip up there, cable clip. So that's everything out now. This is my washing line. Right, the brackets, the chassis brackets painted, brackets, springs painted, a couple of catches all painted. And over here we've got all those nuts all chromed, polished. Well, they're not chromed, they're polished and lacquered, ready to go on this. That's been painted on the outside. Let's see, we've just got to paint the inside, we've run out of paint, so I'm going to get some more. So it's starting to look good now. I've got it standing on 4 screws so it doesn't mark the bottom, because I've painted the underneath at the bottom as well. Okay. So we've got the back painted now, the top painted, put the grill back on, all the shiny nuts back in, painted the chassis mounts, so 4 of them, there's only 2 of them in, the inner grill's back in as well, inside's all painted out as well, so that looks nice, looks pretty, coin cup in, and all the wires. That's the selector mechanism been in the sonic cleaner. It's all now sparkling clean, cables all clean, a lot more up there to go in, so they're the next thing to go in, all these. Put all those back in and we carry on. Now this is inside the main power supply. It's just been cleaned up. The selenium rectifier, which normally goes there, big thing with grids in it, has been taken out because they're old fashioned, and it's been replaced with a bridging rectifier. So that is the power supply, and I'm going to put that back in with the wiring because it's difficult to get in otherwise. That's going to go in this top corner here with that unit, which is the volume control, the on-off switch, and the eject switch, so that will go up there, and we'll put all that back together. We've got some bits of wiring and got the wiring in the coin mechanism in. We've got the light unit wired back in just the way it came out. That bracket sticking down holds the transformer up, and the speaker connectors there. So we're ready to put that in now. We'll just bob that in with the 4 screws and that's that done. So it's another hour later since the last bit. We've got all the wiring in for the trigger switches, wiring for the lights in, power supply in, mains cable running, the lead underneath there which is the turntable lead, the lead for the light is in. So all the wires are in, so we're basically ready. The cabinet kind of finished inside now. We're just waiting for chrome and stuff back now, so we can put it on its stand and take it off the workbench.